What's up, players? Today, welcome back to Sesh. This is number 4. In my last one, I talked about how there are a lot of problematic survivor perks that I think lead to a lot of stagnation within the average game cycle of DBD. And so today, I got quite a few comments to talk about killer perks, and I think there are actually 5. 5 that are genuinely problematic and have pretty much no counterplay in specific instances, and those specific instances are really just not fun to play against. And I think they ultimately need a rework. One perk that I'll talk about first, I genuinely think should just be removed from the game. I think it just needs to be gutted. And that being said, coup de grace, I think, is probably the most problematic perk behavior has ever made. I don't know why it ever got a buff. Granted, 1 stack per generator completed is pretty fucking bad, but also getting 2 per is just I don't know, man. I I really just don't understand why they buffed it. It was like it didn't need a buff, right? It was already strong as is, essentially guaranteeing it down in the right circumstance, or at least a health state. Is just dumb. It's just really dumb guaranteeing a health state for just using a perk. And I kept, for the last week probably, I've been thinking of ways to rework it. And honestly, I think the only way to go is with Freddy's new perk, Freddy Springtrap's, one of Springtrap's new perks, Help Wanted, along with machine learning. Damn. Where did he stop the chainsaw? I never heard it. It's kind of just a bad play on my part. I thought he would like try to weave in between to cut me off from going main, but it was a good play. I think the only way to actually balance coup de grace right now is doing the help wanted and machine learning way, where generator completes, you get 60 seconds of longer lunge. Now, I'd say make it like 50% instead of the 80% that it is currently. Is he like sitting around? Do a plaything. I don't want to keep my dad hard. Oh, he has a babysitter. Nice. It's not chasing anybody. Somebody picked up Shaq, looks like. Maybe. Maybe not. But I think the only way to balance coup de grace is simply to do the help wanted slash machine learning change, where it's like it is Billy, dude. This guy's pretty good. But yeah, make it a limited time, just like with, you know, machine learning. They continuously buff it, and I think it did need a buff. It was very hard to activate, and then 10% haste and undetectable is pretty nice, don't get me wrong. But I just don't think the perk really needs to like stay within the game. He's just not making sound effects. Is this just like plaything? Oh, he has the add-on. That's why. I was wondering whether you need overdrive for this. I'm gonna be that guy. Bro, you can hit this shit? You need an overdrive? I've hit it before. Alright. You know, he's playing a silly build. I'll let it slide. But yeah, the only way that I think we can really rework coup de grace into a... Really, man. The only way that I think we can rework coup de grace into a somewhat balanced perk is making it a limited time after kicking a gen, and that generator gets completed. You know, machine learning, the new perk help wanted, like I said. And that leads me into play with your food, which I think is possibly the most egregious example of haste, where it's and I said it was permanent in the comments of my last Yap Sesh, and I don't think people really understand what I'm saying. It's permanent until you choose not to have a stack anymore. It is effectively permanent until you get a hit, which getting a 5, 10, 15% haste off of one perk for your obsession effectively throwing the game that is out of your control most of the time, unless you are the obsession, is fucking, like, broken. Excuse me? Oh, hi. Like, it's just... It's really dumb. You can hit the shit. You fucking missed. Good play. Good play. This guy's really good. So yeah, play with your food. I came up with a rework. Anytime you drop chase with your obsession, it gives you 15% haste for 10 seconds. Just like my old video that I think is like 8 or 9 months old at this point. Holy shit. I get hope. Using Predator and play with your food together is really, really good. Uh-oh. I think he might have gone for the save. Is that Steve? I can't tell. No, that's Vittorio. Dude hasn't been hooked the entire game. Nice. And then I have my death hook Ada coming for a save. While Steve's on the door, yeah. Good resource management. And the Steve has babysitter, by the way. So I'd make that known. But yeah, I think 15% haste for losing a chase with your obsession is pretty good compared to what it is currently. I'm just gonna leave. I really don't know how else to rework play with your food. It is... I just don't think it should belong in the game at its current state. And, yeah, it's just... It's not really a healthy perk, if that makes sense. Next up, DMS, or Dead Man Switch. I already went over a rework in the last Yap Sesh. If you remember, it was anytime you leave a generator, any other survivor working on a generator gets a difficult skill check, and if they miss that, then their generator gets blocked. I really... The entire problem with Dead Man Switch is that it activated on multiple generators and could essentially just halt the game. And especially its combination with Grim Embrace, which effectively tripled the timer of the first 3 stacks of Grim Embrace, was just... Honestly, like, there was no counterplay to that, right? It just... It was really unfun to play against. It was really... just slow, like, bringing the game to a fucking stop, essentially. And then they did the rework where one generator, or the first generator that is pulled off of after a hook, and it's active for ever, really, until somebody pulls off of a generator, until the perk gets value, which I think is another issue. Then it will block for 50 seconds. And really the problem with that is that in the right situations, DMS is your best slowdown in the game. When you can tunnel out somebody, use their pain res DMS, and then effectively get a 1v3 with DMS active, you have won the game. I think you have to try to lose in that situation. Ooh, that pinhead, nice. I genuinely think you have to try to lose in that situation. And that's where it becomes a really unhealthy perk, because it allows killers to dominate in situations where maybe survivors like aren't prepared for. No way you don't cut me off from this long wall. Psychotic pathing. Maybe he thought there's a pallet there. You know, I would probably think the same too. Like, there's literally no reason for me to run there unless I thought there's a pallet there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm guessing he's just sitting in that corner, right? They're just sitting in that corner. Send in here is Radius. Leave upside map. I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, like, it blocks the gen for 50 seconds. Which within 50 seconds, you can get a full chase. That is... Holy fuck, my game just froze. That is effectively just an entire chase that you can get from blocking one gen. And mind you, in that 50 seconds... I don't know if I get this off in time. He doesn't have add-ons, so... yeah. Sure. Oh. Think joke? 40? Talking about last night. It was Sunday. Hey, is that really interactive add-on? Kinda just have to... hold W here. Not sure why he committed to me. Is it Jen? No, Renato's working on it. Renato really should go for the box instead of working on this, but... like right now? Like right now, Renato should go for the box? Because he knows where everybody is? So if he's a good pinhead, he's gonna know... but yeah, like, in 50 seconds, that's 2 deadlocks, right? So you effectively have 1 generator blocked for a survivor doing something other than, just, like... oh. That's not good. I don't know if we just leave him up there. I mean, he's got 30 seconds left. We're gonna finish that gen after. I'm hoping he waits. Oh, okay. He could be Devour, so I just want to be careful. But yeah, DMS, I keep forgetting what I'm saying. DMS, I think my rework is really a positive step for this game. And then a perk that synergized really well with old DMS when it activated on multiple generators is Ultimate Weapon. And now I think Ultimate Weapon is in such a bad spot in in the current meta, because having passive minute-long cooldown info is just really fucking bad. Like, to me, that's just awful. It is just not a good perk. Just keep it in 1,000. It is a terrible perk. I'm gonna be so fucking for real. Ultimate Weapon is just a terrible perk. And which leads me to Phantom Fear coming out with Springtrap. I don't really like this perk. I think it's gonna be good to use, but I don't think it's... The fact that it has a similar or the same cooldown as Ultimate Weapon, and we're not getting any Ultimate Weapon buffs, is just strange to me, because you effectively always get info when this perk is used, and I feel like if Ultimate Weapon just doesn't get any info, like, it shouldn't go on cooldown, or maybe it should have like a reduced cooldown or something. Oh, Penty, weird. In this economy? Really? I mean, we know exactly where it is. Thought he would fall for that. What is this guy's connection? Holy fuck. What is this server I'm playing on? Hopefully he doesn't hear me. I kind of want to clear that Pensy. Somebody has to grab box. I mean, I don't know why we're not grabbing box. Hello? Why is nobody... Okay, Renato's on box. Sure, man. Like, he knows I'm back here, right? I guess he doesn't. Okay. But yeah, Ultimate Weapon, I think... Just the fact that Phantom Fear gives you guaranteed information, and I think that was my problem with Friends to the End, is that unless a survivor is sitting in a locker, which Phantom Fear won't activate because they have to be in your tear radius and looking at you, so if they're in the locker, then they can't scream and the perk doesn't activate. But the thing with Friends to the End is that it was guaranteed information. Either you saw where your new obsession was, or you saw where your obsession was and wasn't. Or isn't, sorry, not wasn't. Effectively, if you're not seeing an aura, they're in a locker, and you can kind of guesstimate as to where you should be looking. Alright, he hits that shit. There's no way you DC there. I should not be getting away with this shit. What are you? Holy fuck, this guy's insane. This guy's insane. But yeah, like, Ultimate Weapon, I think, needs some kind of dude, it's gotten so many reworks. Not that it needs, like, a buff. This Renato is so fucking useless, I'm sorry. He's just making the worst plays, like, 24/7, and this bot's just, like, running into me. And then I don't think you get up here. Yeah, no. That sucks. I do all that, and my teammates are, kind of fucking throwing. Not gonna lie. I mean, he tried. He had Wiglif MFT. But I'm not really sure what he was doing all game. But yeah, Ultimate Weapon, I think the cooldown is way too long. I do like that it is stationary info. I do like that aspect. Because Phantom Fear, granted, it does only show aura for 2 seconds, but you're probably going to be running lethal with it anyways, just to keep up chases. You know, have that early game pressure, and then Phantom Fear will just continue to snowball. I think Phantom Fear is going to be really good on the best killers in the game, as where Ultimate Weapon is really good on, low tier killers, especially with like Dredge, or not that Wraith is a low tier killer, but Ultimate Weapon is really good on controlling areas when you can't have that. Ultimate Weapon is pretty much like Eruption, as where it's decent on high tier killers, but there's better perks available. But it's really good on killers that necessarily aren't that good. And so I think Ultimate Weapon is kind of in a weird place, because it's just, it kind of just exists without really having much. I haven't had music playing the whole time. I don't like Lil Uzi that much. But yeah, like, I just think the ultimate weapon cooldown is way too long, especially because it shares one with the new Phantom Fear coming out. I'd say make it like 45 seconds and then a 15-second timer if nobody screams or like nobody's within 32 meters. Because effectively having a perk that does nothing and then goes on a full cooldown, a full minute cooldown, like, this perk is just useless. And I understand how strong it was. Do not get it twisted. I understand how strong Ultimate Weapon used to be, and it's gotten so many reworks since then. I think the best rework that they came up with was back when it was like 15 seconds copied to your tear radius, and then it was like a minute-long cooldown, but anybody that walked within your tear radius in those 15 seconds had their aura shown for like 6 seconds, I think. And I think that was kind of the inspiration for Phantom Fear. Granted, they didn't scream, so they didn't know the perk existed. And I think that was the problem with that rework, is that they didn't know their aura was being shown, and they just entered tear radius. And, like, especially, because I think Phantom Fear is going to be really good on Huntress, where she has a really small tear radius, and so, especially because I use lethal to go for long-range hatchets at the start of the game, having 4 seconds of aura reading on a 20-meter tear radius effectively means that you can close that gap that fast, and the survivor basically has no time to react to that. Especially on a killer like Huntress, where you can ready a hatchet and hit somebody by the time they realize their aura is being shown. Like, it's just, I don't know. I think that there should be a short activation window, or like a 2-second window after they scream that shows their aura, right? Because not only does that give you time to react to the scream, but it also gives the survivor time to react to their fact that their aura is being read, or like their aura is being shown. Like, I think they're, how lucky. Stealth killer on Midwich. But really, I do think a short activation window for Phantom Fear will be really good. But just something to make it so that Ultimate Weapon isn't just a useless perk. And like the aura blindness, 30 seconds isn't that much. I think, especially because they've been making, you know, like Nemesis has always been a minute long, but what's the one, Alien Instinct, they made the Oblivious on that a minute long. But I think they're trying to normalize status effects in DBD right now, and I think that's overall a good thing. Like, don't get it twisted. I think normalizing status effects, and let's normalize Wesker's cooldowns. Who said that? Not me. Let's normalize Wesker's cooldowns, guys. 3-second long miss is kind of fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm drunk right now. Tell me, can we still fuck? I'm in the zone right now. Tell me I'm monster. Brother. I want to stall, play with your food as much as possible. See, like, y'all think I'm not slick with this shit. Y'all think I'm not slick with this shit. That's the most predictable pathing ever, but he's gonna realize it's a shadow step. So hopefully he's gonna think that I did bad pathing and I'm gonna walk down the hallway, but I don't know if he's just waiting for me. I made some Myers, bro. Like, come on. I don't know, he's on the other side of the map. I'm guessing he has Tombstone Piece. I don't see why he wouldn't be tearing up by now. But yeah, Ultimate Weapon. I think I've fully covered everything that I wanted to talk about with Ultimate Weapon. And Phantom Fear, I think, is... they need to add like a 2-second activation window before it shows the auras, because I think that's going to help the killers that aren't running lethal. Because the Survivor Screams, you look around, granted they're in your terror radius, so unless you're playing like a 40-meter like Billy, Wesker, or Blight right now, okay, I mean, you didn't need to finish the gen, that's alright. But like Phantom Fear, I think it's definitely gonna be a staple on Oni. I'm gonna try that instead of play with your food. And then also Huntress, I think is gonna be really good. But my real issue with Phantom Fear is just like I said, it's effectively. Oh yeah, he definitely assumed some piece. Trying to cut line of sight, brother. You said it's just the drugs, and I know. I mean, like, you couldn't fucking take longer to bolt that window, man. Dude, having MFT here is kind of nuts. I think I'd make this, right? Let's see, password. Okay, I did not think that was gonna do that. I think he has monitor, to be honest. That's kind of not 16 meters. Oh. Wrong way, wrong way. Where are you going? Where am I going? I'm gonna get jump scared. Dude, this fucking album, Ego Trip, by John Michael, I don't know. Hi. I kind of just die here. She's like stalking for some reason. Wrong way! Woo! The fuck out of the way! Final locker, pal. What? Does he have infinite? Wait, does he have infinite? Oh, wait a second. Why is he picking? Brother, you have one hook. That's definitely Dead Rabbit, though. 100% Dead Rabbit. His terror ace is huge in tier 3. It's not monitor, it's dead rabbit. Yeah, he's coming down that way. Oops. There's kind of no point in healing here. I wouldn't like to get hooked, so I'm dead hard at least. But I don't trust my teammates to save this game if I do get hooked. He's below, isn't he? Where is he going? What? Yeah, this Myers. Mind you, his one and only hook, besides his Atom, was on a grab. I don't know what this guy's doing. What an interesting player. I think we have a 3-gen on the other side of the map. Alright. See, this is what I mean. Any means necessary is really good to see what pallets are gone, what pallets are being used, and where Chase is. Windows of Opportunity has a range limit. But I'm sorry, if you need help finding... What has this Nia been doing? She hasn't touched a gen. Is he going back to camp? I think so. I'm just gonna 1-for-1 here. Hi, where... Okay. Where has this Nia been? Am I dumb? Oh, she's up there. Yeah, we got 3-gen. Dude, this Dwight. I don't think he was gonna camp the whole time. I was looking for a generator because I thought Nia was gonna go for the save. I probably should have gone for the save too, but... I mean, he has infinite tier 3 that, like... Yeah, you should have totally finished the gen. Smart play would be come back. Of course, he just commits to that chase. Just have perma tier 3 and hard camp. I'm gonna go upstairs, try to get to that gen that she was working on. Yeah. So if he hooks here, I think I just have to run away. No, he hooks middle. So I mean, I don't know if he'll come up here. No, he just full left. Okay. Wait, you just had to stay alive, man. I see even the tear radius, what? What? Oh, does he have furtive? Is that why? Yeah, this guy just gets bailed out because my, he just gets gifted, like, the best map for tier 3. It's kind of crazy to me. Why do you break that? Whether you can just hold me in the corner. I don't agree with that. I really don't. 44 ping, well. Sure, man. I guess so. What was that, 3 times she put up a boon? It's kind of crazy. Hmm. Okay. You know what? I feel like that's not on me. Yeah, it was Dead Rabbit. And distressing, huh? No infectious, though. Strange. Yeah, I feel like that wasn't on me entirely. That's why it was kind of just being useless, but, you know. He got grabbed first. And then did nothing all game. You know, I'm gonna say that's not on me. Um, yeah. But I do think No Way Out could use a slight nerf. It's gonna sound crazy to say that, because No Way Out is really just not. But you can say ass in the pregame lobby. Okay. Um, I forgot what else I was gonna say. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. Unbound. Unbound, I don't know why they buffed it and then it got bugged, air quote bugged, on Wesker, Kaneki, and Legion. And so, you know, Legion I think can definitely use the perk the least, but it's still pretty decent because I mean you've all the pallet, especially with his pallet break, the iridescent bun, I believe it's called. It's not bad, right? It's not terrible. But specifically with Wesker and Kaneki, and because Forever Entwined is still bugged, I don't know how they haven't fixed that. It is genuinely broken. Let me just say that. Using Forever Entwined on Wesker, although it does feel great, and like I said, they need to buff Wesker. His cooldowns are not in line with regulated cooldowns. His hit attack is still 3 seconds long. His miss is still 2.7 seconds instead of 2.5. And his power, I think I gotta go close windows. Fuck, it's kind of raining. Yeah, it'll be fine. Oh no, rain's going a completely opposite way of my window. I think I'll be fine. Oh well. If anything, my plants will get watered. I hope you guys can hear that. It's fucking loud. I don't remember what I was talking about. I really don't. Oh, Unbound. I don't know why they buffed it. The problem was that I think it should just be kind of like the next vault you take instead of 30 seconds. Kind of like with Superior Anatomy. Why did we DC? What? Another Myers. Sick. Sick, dude. Sick. Why did he... He just wasted his own add-on? Okay. Holy fuck. Overcome Windows. Oh, dude, the game cannot be fun playing it like that. I'm sorry. Overcome Windows for opportunity, the game cannot be fun. Like, the game cannot be fun playing like that, dude. That is fucking disgusting. But yeah, like, the problem is that you get it a hit, and it's really, like, Unbound is really only good on a few killers, right? And 5% haste is just not impactful, and I think buffing it to 10 is really only going to help the same killers that benefited from Unbound before. And, like, the fact that it got bugged on Wesker, even though... Like, I feel like I'm going crazy for saying this. They continuously bug shit on Wesker instead of actually buffing Wesker. Like, they fucking obliterated his passive infection. I was saying that a year ago when it happened. And then they continuously just bug shit to where it's like, I feel scummy for using it. I made a video on Forever Entwined like a month ago, or 2 months maybe, when I found out it was bugged. And then I just never used it again, because it's like, dude, this is fucking broken. You throw somebody with Forever Entwined, you are hitting them before they finish their speed burst. Like, that's how fucking broken it is. Like, before they can finish their speed burst, you are hitting them. So it's just... I don't know. It's really just... Like I was saying, it feels like they bug stuff. I don't want to say on purpose, but it feels like very conveniently stuff gets bugged specifically for Wesker, so that they can say, well, now there's something new you can use on Wesker, instead of us actually going and buffing the one killer that everybody played before you released Kaneki. Like, it just seems very odd to me that a perk that, frankly, I don't think anybody would use except somebody like me, P100, 1200 hours on a specific killer. I don't think anybody would use that perk on Wesker besides the people that have thousands of hours on Wesker. And for it to be bugged in such a way that it makes Wesker insanely fucking overpowered, it's kind of odd. It's kind of odd in my opinion. Granted, this game's spaghetti code is fucking terrible. And Unbound, while it doesn't specifically say vaulting over pallets, it says specifically vaulting over windows. And I find it very, very strange that Otstarvo made a video about it. First day of the chapter, by the way. First day. First day of... Excuse me, the mid-chapter. Then I'm gonna try to not use... How do you miss that bad? But I'm standing still. I'm logged in animation. He doesn't fall for that. That's crazy. I thought there would be a pallet here. Damn. I just get fucking spawned in a dead zone against a lethal blight. That's really sick, dude. I fucking hate this map. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I really fucking hate this map. I wasted a god pallet. And I go down still in like 40 seconds because there's just nothing on this fucking godforsaken shithole. Let's add more corn and dog shit loops behavior. Thank you. I did see that long wall, but I couldn't really make distance to that. I thought if I, like, faked it, I could make main, but this, you know, lethal blight. Just no fucking killer instincts, you know? Brother, what? Sable. He has a 40-meter tear radius. This guy's on the other side of the map. We're booning. Does he have Grim? No, it would have been over by now. What are we booning? Tell me, what are we booning? Don't put it at main. Don't put it in a corner or anything. Put it by Shack. Yeah, that's really, really good. Dark Theory, Circle, Shadow, Healing. Okay, I mean... Wasn't my teammate using the Alan Wake perk? That fucking shit-ass... I don't know, whoever had behavior designed that perk, really, I'm all for workers' rights, but man, you should look into a new job. I'm not gonna lie. That shit is ass. A boon to look at objects around the map, that's... Wow. Did he just not hear me? Alright, cool. I guess he didn't hear me. Yeah, I think this is gonna be the last Survivor game here. Yeah, I really only think there's like, unless you guys can come up with some more bad perk design, bad killer perk design, I really can only think of those 5. No? Okay, dude, how are we getting hit this fast? It's a blight. I think we should realize that he is lethal barbecue. Holy Adren Vial. What is my fucking team doing? Holy shit. It's coming back to hook. Smart play. Brother, why are you forcing power here? Oh, he's going after David. Yeah. Doesn't have nowhere to hide. I don't know what this fucking dude's doing. Okay. Sure, I guess I missed that. I guess I missed that, yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of problematic perks. I think there's a lot of problematic add-ons. Like, there's really not many... Like, I'm not sure people really understand the definition of problematic in the terms of DBD. How are we getting hit, man? He doesn't have Agi. How are you getting hit while he's carrying a person? Genuinely. I mean, like, how the fuck are you getting hit? Sable throwing up a boon? Hello, I just completed a generator. Yep, so you know that you have Shadow Step, so we're safe from barbecue. So maybe run to the generator that just finished, I don't know. And you do have Circle of Healing. Going next, sick dude. Go down instantly to probably one of the worst blights I've seen. No offense, yeah. Very fun. I'm surprised I didn't get hit. I really am. I feel like that would have hit me. I was trying to hug the wall as close as possible. Yeah, I guess I can go work on this. There should be one back behind that. Yeah, there is. I think my problem with this map is that it's literally just a bunch of corn, so you don't really get any vision. It's hard to see scratch marks and auras already on any Coldwind map, and this map just amplifies it by the amount of corn everywhere, really. And then also there's no good loops, so survivors will greed the fuck out of pallets and never play them. And so it feels like I'm just playing against people that are just like so incredibly conservative. Good hit. I mean, he is playing at Drenvile speed, so... Why do you fault that? Creature play. Did he just... No? Okay. You know what? He's just, Blight's a really hard character, what can I say? Blight is really hard to play. Yeah, he's using a Adren Vial to get the extra 2 bounces, because he triple bounces every single time he gets to his tile. Sorry, I'm just coping. My teammate fucking goes next for no reason. Just to immediately go down. Die in dead zone. I don't know.
When did they use that? I feel like I don't know. I don't know, man. I I hate this map, and this Blight is not the best player. Let's be real. Yeah, it's not amazing. I mean, he uses lethal, so you know, he uses lethal on Blight, so. You guys want to go next? I'm more than willing to fucking throw this game on and give a fuck. Boring as shit. We're going next because we're dying in dead zones. We're literally just running into dead zones. Like, sure, I fucking inted and died out in the middle of nowhere because I spawned in that corner. Like, I'm not sure what I can do against a lethal blight. I don't know. Backseat gamers are gonna tell me. Really? I feel like I hit that shit. Solid hit. 40 ping, 40 ping. Yeah, I guess that hit me. Wow. Adrenval, lethal blight. Still struggles. Crazy to me. I'm just coping. But yeah. No, that's Alchemist Ring, then. Wow. Broken Dot. Lethal, Elk Ring, Crow. I mean, hey, if you're P100, use whatever add-ons you want, I guess. You know, I'd still fucking use Gloves Egg, so. I don't know. Do you need that much help? Frankly. I do think if I'm gonna P100 Survivor, it's probably gonna be Zarina. Or Kate. I don't know. Kate or Zarina. Or maybe... Who's the other one that I wanted? Zarina, Kate, or Adam. I don't know. I like Adam. I like this fit, especially with the beanie, and then the coat and the jeans kind of match, I guess. Yeah, I think that's it. I really wanted to talk about problematic killer perks today, and I really think that, like I said before, the problematic aspects of killer right now are really focused on the add-ons more than it is perks, but I do think there are some perks that could really use some reworks. Like, if we just have a look through, right? Dude, they still haven't fixed this 3-month-old bug. God forbid I want my game to look a little bit different. You know, they're just now putting in gamma updates. Batteries included. I don't know why they ever really buffed this perk. It was good while it was good. It just I don't know. I had an idea before, but I think it should be kind of like how Deadlock works, where you get incremental haste. So like the first generator, You get 2% haste while within like 16 meters of the next most completed generator. So like 16-meter radius, right? First generator pops, you get 2% haste, and then incremental by 2% while you're within the area of that next completed generator. So like really good with deadlock or um, even like machine learning, you know, with the machine learning rework, I guess. That would be 15% haste. Well, incremental, whatever. But yeah, like batteries included, I don't know why they ever buffed it. It was a decent perk as is. Awaken Awareness, they nerfed it because of the most broken killer they've ever added, and then they're like, yeah, we realized that was a really dumb thing to do, and we're not gonna revert it. I'm glad they're buffing Call of Brine finally. I don't know why it took them this long. Um, yeah, coup de grace, really fucking stupid perk that I don't think should be in the game, frankly. But I already gave my rework. DMS, really stupid perk that I already gave my rework. Deadlock, I think, is one of those perks where it's like you kind of have to play entirely into Deadlock, and that's really the issue that I have with this perk, is that you effectively have to, like, you can't play Pain Res, you can't play Pop with Deadlock. So you really have to lean heavy into area denial or just like stalling the game, which just gets really boring. Disillusion is another one of those perks that I think if they ever give it a buff, whether it be shortening the activation window or increasing the time that it's active, I think this perk could be really problematic. Right now, it's 20 seconds. It's really only good on like Kaneki and maybe Blight, but it's very situational. They still need to fix race add-on. What is it called? Snake? I have a whole build dedicated to it that I just can't play. The Serpent. This one is supposed to work with Disillusion, but it just doesn't. It doesn't give you speed burst. It takes forever for you to uncloak. And there's like a brief window where you just can't like swing. So whenever they fix the Serpent, I think Disillusion will probably be a good perk again. Dying Light is one of those perks where it's just like, I think they can make each token 4% and it wouldn't change how good this perk is. Because the fact that your obsession gets a buff when you're supposed to ignore your obsession, it's kind of, I don't know. I think, here's what I think, and let me know if you disagree. The fact that if your obsession is dead, the perk turns off is a huge reason why this perk will never get any value. Because if you hard tunnel somebody to get a 3v1 at like 2 or 3 gens, and you're using Dying Light and they DS you, this perk effectively just is hurting you now because you have to keep that person alive. You lost all of your aggro into tunneling somebody out, and then you get DS'd and you lose this perk. So it's kind of strange. What I hope they do, I do like the fact that the obsession gets a buff. I think it's a very interesting aspect where a perk that is meant to slow down the game effectively super buffs one person. I do like that. I think they can make each token 2%, and then if you hook your obsession, it gives you 2 tokens. So effectively, you know, six hooks would be 12, and then you hook your obsession, that's 20%. At 8 hooks, 20% slowdown is effectively like Thanatophobia, like permanent Thanatophobia. So I just, this perk, it's really only good in one build, and I think it's really only decent on Clown, and that's kind of, if a perk is really only good on clown, is it is it even a decent perk? Um, but yeah, like friends to the end, I think is fairly problematic. If you're having a hard time with this, I'd recommend learning. This is gonna sound so douchey. Learning how to count, right? So effectively, when you see your exposed get to half, immediately change your positioning. If they have line of sight, of course, you probably just want to run to a safe pallet. Um, but yeah, like, and obviously they might have lethal as well, so you got to count English is hard. You got to account for that extra 2 seconds added on. Um, Gearhead will always be dog shit because it relies on survivors being bad. Like this entire last hour, I think I've fucking I've hit like probably 70% greats. Like Gearhead would just be useless against me. And even then, 8 seconds working on a generator when you might not even have line of sight to see that somebody's working on a generator. It's just I feel like there's so many better perks and especially add-ons on like a good amount of killers that are better at patrolling generators than actually seeing somebody's aura, especially because there's only a short window where it's active. And it's a good idea for a perk, but in practicality it's just not good enough. And maybe make the active window like a minute long or 45 seconds. Um Languid Touch I've never really been a fan of. And even when it came out, I said that this perk was going to be really fucking boring, and it still is. Like a 5 second cooldown. I understand they want to normalize it with spies. Um, but yeah, 10 seconds of exhaustion just for the environment interacting with you is kind of busted, and not in a good way. But um, like I said, no way out. I think you could probably make it 10 seconds per token. So bring it down to 50 seconds instead of 60. Because effectively, 60 seconds of having no way out, if you cannot get it down in 60 seconds, I think that is a genuine skill issue. Or maybe they're hiding, ratting, whatever. But I think this perk just lasts a little bit too long, and especially because you don't always get value. Um, I don't know. It's I feel like people are going to disagree with me because you don't always get value. But if you're not getting value from this perk, then you could get value from something else and win faster. So it's just like No Way Out is in that situation of where if you have it, you're better off. But if you don't have it, you're also like holding yourself back, and it's just odd. Like it's really just odd. Um, I already talked about play with your food. Stabiffle, I don't really know why people continue to use this perk. Um, I made a video about Rapid Brutality, but I think Rapid is still better than Stabiffle. The fact that you essentially have to ignore your obsession, just like I was saying with Dying Light. Septic Touch, well, didn't they rework this perk and it's still ass? That's so funny. Um, let me see. Let me see. Dude, Terminus, they want to increase the time that survivors stay broken after the exit gates are opened. And it's like, dude, the problem, this perk is so fucking good until you get a survivor that's on like 20 ping with adrenaline, and then this perk is completely useless. This perk is just a coin flip on who has a better connection to the server. The entire purpose of using this perk is just gambling. That's so dumb. I'm sorry, that's just dumb. Yeah, I already talked about Ultimate Weapon. I already talked about Unbound. I do think Weave Attunement is still in one of those areas where it's like, I don't know. It's such a it's a dumb perk, don't get me wrong, but I think the fact that it really only excels on like a couple killers, and even then, like Oni with Franklin's, I think could be really potent. Dracula, even then, Dracula's not really like it's really only good on multi-floor maps for killers that either have teleport or killers that need some kind of way to get rid of your item. You know, like Oni, getting rid of medkits, or at least depleting their charges a little bit, is really nice. Whispers, dude. Whispers, I think, should get a rework to where each survivor alive is 8 meters of distance. So it's really good at finding the last survivor, but it's decent when 4 survivors are alive. So like it gets better the longer the game goes on. Let me know what you guys think. I think that's everything. I did lose. I didn't really have a Wesker streak going, but I did lose my Oni streak. I think it was like 12 or 13 games long. And then I got 4 windows of opportunity with 3 syringes on Area of Crows, and I think I got like a 2K. And that game was really fucking boring. That was really, really boring. So thanks for watching. It's already been an hour. Holy shit. I hope you enjoy the Survivor gameplay. I don't really play Survivor that much, or at least share Survivor gameplay with you guys. I do like playing Survivor still, but I feel like the issues that I run into are more with the game, especially with optimization and the server latency just continuously ballooning into a fucking mess. So that's all. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and stay tuned for the tier list.